Oh no, Disney dumped Doctor Who. Why? Why would they do that? Yeah. Um, so anyway, ratings, they were very bad. The budget was very high. And woke content to blame. Well, in a sense, yes. Yeah. Nobody watched it. They tuned in, I suppose, out of some curiosity with the David Tennant specials. But even that was pretty lackluster compared to previous iterations, or runs rather, and gave them a pretty good message of what this is going to be about. In fact, I would argue that the little joke tease about Davros before the David Tennant specials aired told you everything you needed to know, and then it just got worse after that. You know, so I was, all right, I'm done. Everybody was burned after Timeless Children. Most people left when Jodie was announced and all that, and it was a downward spiral. Anyway, the quality, as much as I loved Peter Capaldi as he was my favorite of the new Doctors, he was just not given the material worthy of his skill and talent. And he got a few here and there, one in particular, very brilliant, only to be undercut by the next episode, so on and so forth. And then Chibnall comes in and just phones it in mostly. You know, all that hoopla about a female doctor, and all it was a token. That's all it was. Skin and genitals. That's all that matters. Hey, that's identity. And then Timeless Children just destroyed the lore of Doctor Who, and then here comes Russell T Davies to come back and I guess told Chibnall to hold his beer. I don't know. And this absurdity. And it was a classic example of a show that, sure, it doesn't respect its foundations, its source material, its the roots of this decades-old franchise of Doctor Who. But then it doesn't even respect itself because Ncuti Gatwa never played the Doctor. I don't mean how his performance was and all that. It was all about him basically playing himself as a gay man and all that. No. He wasn't the next incarnation. David Tennant's new Doctor didn't regenerate into Ncuti Gatwa. No, they bi-generated. So they split into two. So essentially, Ncuti Gatwa is like Dr. Jr. He's just this cloned offspring of the Doctor, while the real Doctor just hangs out at Donna's house. I mean, it's stupid, utterly unnecessary. Why? Is it you, like I said, you don't even respect this new Doctor. This is a new, endeavor to begin the Hooniverse and all that. No. Weird. Well, anyway, so there you go. Disney's like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. So according to Deadline, Doctor Who failed to attract a new audience on DP, despite a reported budget of up to $13 million per episode. Doctor Who failed to chart on Nielsen or Luminate. Even with Disney's global marketing push, the series struggled to expand beyond its core fan base, a fan base that many argue has largely abandoned the show. Yes. There was some excitement when they announced Russell T Davies was coming back because he had had the most successful run of New Who. So they thought, okay, he's going to come in and right the ship. He had already said he wasn't going to retcon Timeless Children, which was really a dumb thing to not do, So he wasn't going to do that. So I thought, well, at best, he could do basic Doctor Who adventures. If he does that, that might be enough to be an okay, successful show. Wouldn't be enough for me personally, but, just to produce a show, especially for a company that's paying you this amount of money and you owe it to them to put your best effort on this for the property. Not for you. But that's not what he did. So a former Disney exec told Deadline the writing was on the wall early. Everyone got the impression that it wasn't doing what it needed to do on DP to be sustained. As noted, there was no big send-off by Disney, and Disney didn't even bother to issue a press release. They simply confirmed the BBC's announcement and moved on. According to Deadline, behind the scenes execs reportedly regretted how much they spent on this. Oh, I bet. Holy crap. Which didn't generate Marvel level buzz or awards attention. Yeah, it couldn't even generate the lackluster buzz that Marvel gets today, which is dwindling at a rapid pace. Sources for the site also hinted at internal concerns about Doctor Who's woke image. Under Russell T Davies, the show featured LGBTQ plus themes, including a trans character, drag queen villain, and a same-sex kiss. Moves that may not have sat well with many viewers. Well, the same-sex kiss, that was in an episode where the Doctor is too busy trying to get laid with this gay man that he just met. I mean, it's a relationship that's about 5 minutes long. And meanwhile, the monsters are up to no good, and this is all going around, but he's too busy trying to get laid. And then his companion nearly gets killed, and at the end, he starts crying and doesn't know what to do. And so his 5-minute-old boyfriend has to step up and save the girl by sacrificing himself. And then afterwards, the doctor's like, oh, maybe I'll meet him again. I don't know. See, even if, you really want a gay Doctor Who, they give you that. So, cut the crap, So the industry leader claimed the show was seen as too woke for Trump's USA. Well, yeah, but it wasn't Trump's USA at the time you had it out, So nobody considered that. They just you dumped the money on it and you didn't do the due diligence to figure out, well, what are you going to do with the show? You didn't look into it. What were the problems for it initially? Why does it have to have this partner come in and fund it? Did it ever occur to you, Disney? No, it didn't. Well, the BBC will continue Doctor Who Solo. You're going to get a 2026 Christmas special. Oh, boy. Ncuti Gatwa has already exited the role, so who's the Doctor? Well, the series finale left fans confused after he regenerated into Billie Piper's Rose Tyler. Well, no, he didn't regenerate into Rose. I mean, they've already established this. The Doctor can take on the appearance of someone else. You go back to the classic series, Colin Baker. He had played this, Citadel guard, Maxwell, in Peter Davison's episode. And because he shot Peter Davison's Doctor, says, well, that subconsciously left an impression on Peter Davison's Doctor. So that when he regenerates, guess who he looks like? He looks just like that guy, Then you have Peter Capaldi, and it was revealed that, yes, he had seen this face before in David Tennant's adventure in Pompeii, where he rescues this man, played by Peter Capaldi, and that look of, please save me, keeps the Doctor realizing that, yeah, I'm a guy who saves people, and that became this sort of theme and given as an explanation as to why he looks like that guy. So it had this impression on him. And so subconsciously, this is what happens. So not that that's what it is for all the incarnation. It isn't. But in some cases, it happens. It's some sort of influence on the process. So here, after being a gay man, his subconscious is on the image of a woman that he was madly in love with. So he turns into her. Um, Now, granted, again, like I said, this is Shudigawa's doctor was basically a clone, but he has all the memories and whatnot, and therefore the feelings of the previous doctors. So there's that, and so he would have had the memory of those feelings for Rose as well. So then she becomes this incarnation that looks like Rose Tyler. That's as far as connecting to the past. But then again, this is not the same thing. This is the first time this version of the Doctor has regenerated because he split off from the original Doctor. So now, would they do a Christmas special where she now reunites with the original Doctor and they figured this out? And then you could use that special to retcon away all the dumb shit, from Timeless Children on. And oh no, and I guess bring back the toy maker and say, yeah, because he hinted he was behind all this anyway. Says, yeah, I screwed you good, didn't I? And then you restore the timeline, and the rest of it was alternate multiverse shenanigans, whatever. And then you move on. You got to cast your new Doctor. I guess David Tennant's Doctor regenerates into a new Doctor, and boom, there you go. Try to do a series on the cheap out of that. They're not going to do that. It's stupid. Yeah. So, I mean, the way they left it, I guess Billy Piper is the Doctor for the Christmas special. The other thing is that, it's not really, obviously, how could it be Rose? So it must be the Moment, from the Time War and all that, who looked like Rose, who is obviously some entity because the Moment can exist, beyond time and space and stuff like that, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, or maybe it was connected to when Rose absorbed the heart of the TARDIS and all that. I don't know. But so you could throw in that kind of thing. And still, what would be the purpose of that? Well, it's this Hail Mary pass in the hopes that you can retcon the stupid retcons. That would be the only thing you could do. Something of that nature. Get it back to what it's supposed to be. And stop using people of color and women as tokens and pawns in your story when you won't provide them any stories. You didn't do that for Jody. You certainly, and for Shooty, you didn't do anything for him. You wouldn't even let him be the Doctor. So you just need to go back to form. You pissed everybody off. So anyway, budget cuts are well, yes, I guess so. With future episodes possibly slashed down to 3 million each. Well, you know what? Somebody who knows what they're doing has got the skill, knows how to frame shots and all this stuff. Money isn't really the problem for New Who. It's the stories. You don't know what you're doing. So finding another global streaming partner won't be easy, but talks resume. Platforms like Paramount or others looking for built-in IP. Amazon has been rumored. Yeah, good luck. But some kind of plan or template, what I laid out here, you need to do that to show good faith for these other entities to come in and have anything to do with it. But 3 million, yeah, you could do it. It is possible. But man, another Mount Everest hill to climb to try to do something like that. But what else have they got? They don't have major IPs for the potential of international success, the likes of which Doctor Who achieved. That's it. But the odds are incredibly against it. And I just don't see that they have anybody even capable. And you hear the news about Britain these days. Doesn't seem likely at all. So, so anyway, that's the thing. One of these stories that was obviously going to be the result. It's not any kind of surprise news. The surprise news would have been Disney said, you know what, we're going to try again. That would have been shocking. But there you go. A sad end to a once great character.